Okay. What's up, YouTube world? This is your man, Blue Sense. And today I'm going to talk about respect versus loyalty in fragrance brands. Basically, what I'm talking about is, you like a house so much that no matter what they put out, you'll purchase it. And then some houses that you like, you don't like all their fragrances, but you respect that, they always coming out with something that don't smell like something else. So the first one that I got up is Creed, the House of Creed, and Virgin Olive Water is my favorite fragrance from Creed. I put it over top of, Creed Aventus because, Creed Aventus has been cloned so much that, is really not a unique smell. But I will always tell somebody who's a beginner, get Creed Aventus if you can afford it, because nothing smells like Creed Aventus, the original. Of course it has batch variations, but I don't care what clone house you go to, they're going to say, oh, it smells like Creed Aventus, and which it does in the air. But Creed Aventus got its own smell. But the reason I put respect on Creed Aventus' name because they pretty much do their own thing. They don't have really no fragrances that smell like anything else. Other than Green Irish Tweed, people going to debate Green Irish Tweed came first or Davidoff Cool Water came first. I'm not going to get into that. To me, Davidoff Cool Water and Creed Green Irish Tweed, they smell similar, but it's almost to the point where it'll be like you saying Mont Blanc Explorer smells like Creed Aventus. It kind of puts you in that type of argument. But anyway, I would say Creed because they always got things that don't smell like one another. And the only reason I don't have raw oud on here because I don't have a full presentation. But Virgin Island Water and raw oud would be at my two top favorites of all times with Creed. Unless you live under a rock, Tom Ford Great Veteran is probably one of the greatest fragrance that ever been made to me. Especially if you dress up or you wear a suit and tie, or you can even have a linen suit, or if you go to weddings or cabarets or any of those type of things where you need to dress up. If you put this fragrance on, you're going to smell good. And it will never be offensive to anybody in any category that I named dressed up. Now, I wouldn't wear this fragrance in a t-shirt, but you could. But from the House of Tom Ford, this is my favorite. I like oud wood. I like tobacco. I think it's tobacco oud. I have a lot of samples and decants of Tom Ford, and he got one that's Navoli. That one is good, and the Lost Cherry, I like that. I smell effing fabulous. But what I like about the House of Tom Ford and you have to respect it, is because he always pushing the envelope of different smells that nobody haven't smelled. And a lot of his fragrances, they don't have close to a copy of them, other than some of his tobacco. Because when you get into tobacco notes, you can't really do too much to make a tobacco note smell way different than another tobacco note, because to me, tobacco notes are very similar. But other than that, he always pushing the envelope on different smells. So that's why I have to respect the House of Tom Ford. Yeah, I don't go out and get everything Tom Ford get, but I respect the House of Tom Ford. Last but not least, for the respect category, I would have to say Mason Francis Kirk John, and this is my favorite from the house, is Oud Satin Mood. Now, I like the Oud too, but the Oud is not really versatile. So I would have to say that's my second to this Satin Mood. Grand Soir, Baccarat Rouge, 540 regular or abstract. And yeah, those are the ones that are pretty much at the top of the list for Mason Francis Kirk John. But I would say a lot of his fragrances don't smell like everything else. Yeah, I don't have a ton of his fragrances, and yeah, I don't decant a lot of his fragrances because I have smelt them in store. Um, they're most of them are not for me. They're more, how would I say, unisex and a lot of rose and stuff like that. I'm not into the, big into roses, smells, but I would have to say none of his fragrances smell like nothing else on the market. So I would have to respect that, and I would tell anybody when you're dealing with the respect category of this video, try some of these houses out and, just see, because a lot of times they give you something different than what you have at your cookie cutter, like department store. So if you go to a high-end store, smell some of these fragrances from these houses. Now we're going to talk about loyalty. The first one that I'm going to bring up is Bond Number 9. If anybody know about anything about Bond Number 9, it smells similar. They have fragrances that do smell similar to others. They have some that are signature to them. Centerpiece and Bleecker Street are my two favorites. And I could have put them side by side in this video. But I just put, because I could grab it faster, I just put Centerpiece for him. If anybody ever smelled this, they're going to tell you, oh, it smells like Creed Adventures. But to me, this smells like Hasibak. And it smells like it's mixed with like a blueberry note. To me, it doesn't smell. It don't smell like Creed Adventures to me. It has that. It could be like a cousin of Creed Adventures, but it doesn't smell like Creed Adventures. So I would say the house of Bond Number 9, I have loyalty to it. I'm always getting a decant. I'm always getting a sample. They give you samples look like you come in a Tootsie Roll pack. I'm always trying to get samples of Bond because I like .com. I like the Hamptons, which is like a spinoff of Silver Mountain Water from Creed, but I like the Hamptons better. So it's some fragrances that Bond makes that smell similar to others that I like more. If I could say that, they say Bleecker Street smell like Ralph Lauren Purple Label, which I have never smelt. I can't get my hands on that. So if anybody watching this video and you got your hands on Purple Label, I like to get a sample of that. You just throw me a price and I'll try to, get with you and see, how I can send the money to you. But I would like to get a sample of Purple Label from Ralph Lauren. But like I said, not to drag this on, but Bond Number 9 is one of those ones that I'm always loyal to. If they make something, I'll go grab it. Just because I can grab these two, these are tied for me. In Sauvage, it can be any iteration. But for Dior Homme, it's always going to be the Intense. That's the first one from the House of Dior that I fell in love with. So I'm always going to stick with Intense. Sauvage, I like the EDP, but the Elixir smell good to me. The regular Sauvage smell good to me. And some of their private lines smell good to me. But the reason I have loyalty to Dior is because, yeah, some of their fragrances come out smelling the same. I'm not going to lie. Sauvage, regular Sauvage, the EDT, the EDP, the Parfum, they all smell the same. And if you got all three of those, yeah, you can justify saying, yeah, they smell a little bit different. But it's just the loyalty to the brand. They're going to put out a good product. You always know that you're going to smell good, even if it's oversaturated in the community. But you always going to smell good. So, like I said, anything Dior brings out, I'm gonna sample it. 9 out of 10, I'll probably get it because I'm just loyal to the brand because I know the brand works. The brand always gonna smell good. Just like Bond Number 9, they're always gonna put out a good product. And last but not least, Chanel. Anybody know me? This is my favorite house. But their fragrances smell similar. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It's just the loyal part of me saying that, hey, I know that I'm gonna get my money's worth out of these fragrances. Um, you know, this is the extreme, but you know, if you got the regular Allure Homme Sport, this is not too much different. Just a little note of tangerine in the beginning, or that's the only difference in the smell. And you know, people are like, oh, I gotta have both. But it's just the loyalty that with them, I already know that I'm gonna get a good product. Yeah, it might not last long. You know, maybe, you know, I don't, you know, Blanche and their cologne, their L'Oreal cologne. It's a few that you might only get 4 hours. You know, I'm keeping it real with you. But my loyalty to this brand, I always gonna, everything Chanel makes that, you know, I smell and I like, I'm gonna buy them even if these smell similar to another fragrance that they already had, because a lot of their fragrances do smell similar. So that's why I always tell people go out and try them in store, especially when you're dealing with Dior, Chanel, because you can get Dior Homme and it still had that iris note. Now the 2020 don't, but the older batches, I think it's Dior Homme Original and Dior Homme Intense, they smell similar. I mean, one is a little darker than the other, but you still gonna get a similar smell. But that's my video for today. Respect versus loyalty. And you know, if you like this video, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And like I said, if you know anybody that got Purple Label and they willing to decant it or send me a sample, I don't need a lot. I never smelled it, and I never been to a store where it was on display for a sample. But like I said, yeah, if you like this video, just get a thumbs up. Thank you.